What if the drum rocks on Drum Island were actually trees and they were cut down by Scopper? Maybe it's a long shot, but follow me here. Once we got to Elbaf and we started learning about Scopper, we got this story of him protecting Roger while he was at a hospital. He was receiving treatment, and while that happened, everybody that thought he was weakened came to kill him by the hundreds. And since Roger was too sick to take care of himself, Scopper went out to cut everybody down, and not just that, he cut down every tree on that mountain, and that's how we got the name Mountain Eater. And this isn't an isolated incident. Even somebody like Jinbei right here is saying that everybody knows of this tale. Like, this is something that everybody's heard of because of how legendary it is. And I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that legendary if he was just cutting down a bunch of normal trees. We got machines in our real world that can do that. But if those trees he cut down were as big, if not bigger than mountains, then that makes sense that everybody around the world would know about this tale. Now, I know we've been to Drum Island and these were like kind of rocky mountains. They were called what? Drum rocks? And I'm not saying it's true, but there's even been stories and theories of our own world where these giant flat mountains used to be like giant trees of some sort. Let's not forget the imagery at the end of Drum Island where one of these giant drums ends up looking like a tree, a cherry blossom tree to be exact. So it would not surprise me if all of these used to be trees at some point. This is the world of One Piece. If we have giants and giant fish and sea kings, why wouldn't we have giant trees like this on places that aren't just Elbaf? Not to mention, when it comes to Dr. Kureha, someone who was 141 years old back on Drum Island, she knows about Roger. We just don't know to what extent. And her saying Luffy was confirmation to her that the will of D lives on. It would not surprise me if at some point she ended up treating Roger or knew somebody that treated Roger in the past. May have even been there to see Scopper cut down all of these trees in the past. After all, it said that he cut down hundreds of people that day, including the trees. So if you're cutting down all the people, why cut down the trees too? Unless to fight those hundreds of people, you like chop down these trees so it falls down to like 50, 100 of them so you don't gotta deal with every individual person. And they're clearly not normal mountains because the normal mountains are right down below them. They look noticeably different than the ones that look like tree stumps. And since Drum Island was known for its doctors and whatnot, it wouldn't surprise me if they were on that island at some point in the past anyway. Especially since it seems like Luffy's been mirroring Roger's path this entire time. This could be a long shot of a theory, but what do y'all think? Does this make sense or not? I know some people might think that this may have happened somewhere on Elbaf, but at the same time, we just don't really know. Especially if things that happen on Elbaf don't really hit the outside world like the death of King Harold, but for this instance, Jinbei even knows about this story, and apparently it's a famous one. But at the end of the day, it might be a long shot, but I think Scopper might be responsible for all these bare cliff rocks that are on Drum Island.